The text you shared beautifully outlines a fundamental truth: the power of worthiness. This isn't about earning your value, it's about recognizing that you already possess it. Our society often teaches us that we must achieve, acquire, or perform to be worthy of love, success, or happiness. This external validation creates a conditional sense of self-worth, a feeling that our value is always in question. However, the core message of the text challenges this notion directly. It states that you are worthy just for existing. This is a profound shift in perspective. When you embrace the idea that your worth is inherent and unconditional, you stop chasing external achievements to feel good enough. You can reject the impulse to prove yourself to others, or even to the universe. This understanding is what allows you to receive the best that life has to give you without feeling the need to immediately return the favor. From earning to receiving. This transition from an earning mindset to a receiving mindset is where true transformation begins. The universe, as the text explains, doesn't respond to your resume or your list of accomplishments. It responds to your energetic vibration, to the deep-seated belief that you are already valuable. When you operate from a place of unshakable self-worth, you naturally radiate a different kind of energy, one of openness, gratitude, and trust. This isn't just about positive thinking, it's about a fundamental reprogramming of your subconscious mind. By repeating affirmations like "My existence is enough to be loved, respected, and cared for," you are not just saying words, you are slowly rewriting the script that has governed your life. You are dismantling the old, limiting beliefs that told you to work harder, do more, or be someone else to be deserving. Ultimately, the power of worthiness is the key that unlocks all other forms of manifestation. It's the silent, honest energy that tells the universe you are ready, not just for what you've been working for, but for everything you've always been worthy of. There are moments when, despite everything you do, you feel that your deepest desires get lost in the silence of the universe, as if you open your heart hoping for a response, and the only thing you receive is a distant echo. But it's not that the universe doesn't listen, it's that maybe you haven't learned its language yet, because yes, the universe is always listening, you just need to discover how to speak to it in a way it truly understands. In this video, we're going to go through 7 powerful techniques that can completely transform how you connect with the energy of the universe. These are not mystical secrets or unattainable formulas. They're practical, accessible, real tools that you can start using today to create profound changes in your life. You tried hard, you visualized, you asked with all your heart, like that time you imagined in detail that new beginning, that change you so longed for, and yet nothing happened. The days passed, and instead of signals, you only felt silence. That feeling that the universe doesn't respond, that your words are lost in the void, can hurt more than we admit, but you are not alone. And most importantly, it's not that they aren't listening to you, it's that they haven't yet taught you how to ask from the right place. And now I want you to take your first step, a clear, simple, but powerful declaration. I am ready to receive. It's not just a phrase, it's a signal, a way of telling the universe, I'm here, I'm open, I'm ready. This small gesture can be the beginning of a great transformation. Many times it's not that the universe ignores us, it's that without realizing it, we are the ones who block the blessings we so often ask for. Not because we don't deserve them, but because no one taught us how to truly ask. It's like wanting to talk to someone you love deeply, but dialing the wrong number over and over. The intention is there, the desire too. But if there's no connection, the answer can't arrive. The universe hasn't forgotten you. It has been there in silence, yes, but attentive, waiting for the exact moment to give you everything your heart desires. Abundance, love, success, health, all of that is already available to you. But as in any deep and meaningful relationship, the key is how you communicate. Because when you learn to speak its language, the universe responds, and it responds with love. It's like opening a door that was always there, but that you had never noticed. On the other side, something bigger than yourself awaits you, a deep, wise, and generous connection. This is not just another video, it is the beginning of a new, intimate, and powerful relationship between you and the universe. So breathe, relax, and open your mind, because what you're about to discover can transform your life from within. Let's begin. You wake up, look at your phone, and almost without realizing it, the same thoughts from yesterday return to occupy your mind. Maybe it's that worry about the future, that internal dialogue that tells you that you're not enough, or that subtle feeling of running after something that never arrives. What you may not know is that those thoughts are not harmless or random. They are shaping your reality day after day like a melody that repeats in silence and ends up setting the rhythm of your whole life. Because the mind, when it is not trained, becomes a machine for repeating, and what is repeated becomes your world. But the good news is that you can also teach it a new song, one that speaks of confidence, of possibilities, of expansion. And that's where affirmations come in, not as empty phrases, but as real tools to reprogram the thoughts that build your reality. Positive affirmations are one of the most powerful ways to transform the way we think. He discovered it on his own healing journey. The words we use with ourselves can literally change our lives. When you leave behind limiting beliefs and replace them with statements full of strength and truth, you are doing much more than just talking nicely to yourself. You are sending clear signals to the universe about the reality that you are ready to manifest. Affirmations work so powerfully because your subconscious mind doesn't differentiate between what you are living and what you are imagining. For it, everything you feel intensely is real. Have you noticed how something you only thought about for a moment can influence how you feel all day? When you repeat an affirmation with emotion and conviction, your mind begins to accept it as a truth, and from there the universe begins to respond to you on that same frequency. Many people feel disappointed when they try affirmations once or twice and don't see immediate changes. They understand it as a failure, but in reality it's just impatience. Reprogramming the mind takes time, just like any deep transformation. It is not enough to repeat a random phrase and expect magic. It's a daily act, a constant choice. Just as the body needs consistency to strengthen itself, the mind also needs repetition to create new connections. Every affirmation is like a seed, and you choose whether to water it or forget it. The most powerful affirmations are those you speak in the present, as if what you desire is already happening. Don't say someday I will have. Say I am successful now. My life is already changing. What I deserve is coming to me. Your subconscious mind lives in the now. And when you speak to it from that space, it begins to act as if that reality is already true. And then the universe does too. It's not just about repeating words. What truly activates an affirmation is the emotion you put into it. Feel the joy as if you were already living it. Embrace gratitude as if what you so desire were already part of your reality. Imagine that calm, that fullness, that emotion vibrating throughout your body. That emotional energy is the spark. It is what transforms a simple phrase into a creative force capable of moving everything. Be specific with your affirmations. The clearer your message, the clearer the universe's response will be. Instead of saying, I am successful, say, I am building a professional path that inspires me and allows me to live with freedom and purpose. When you name what you want with intention and detail, you open a direct channel for that energy to find its way to you. The moment you choose to affirm also matters. Your mind is more receptive when you have just woken up and just before you go to sleep. Those moments between sleep and wakefulness are open doors to the subconscious. There your words enter without resistance. like seeds that fall directly into fertile ground. Use those moments with intention. Repeat your affirmations calmly, with presence, and let them work while you rest or start your day. Sometimes we are not aware of how we talk to ourselves, but that internal dialogue, that tone with which you name yourself every day, has immense weight, because the words you use with yourself are not just thoughts in the air, they are direct messages to the universe about how you see yourself, how much you value yourself, and what you believe you deserve. If you want to transform your life, start by listening to yourself with more love. Everything begins there. Start with affirmations that you can embrace with your heart without forcing. For example, I am learning to trust myself, or every day I feel more at peace with myself. They are simple but profound phrases. When you repeat them with intention, you begin to build a new relationship with yourself and with what you believe is possible for your life. And what happens when an affirmation sounds distant to you, as if it were not for you? It is more common than you imagine, and it does not mean that you are doing something wrong. At first, saying phrases like "I am prosperous" can feel false or forced, and that's okay. That's why bridge affirmations exist, that help you create an emotional path toward what you want. Phrases like, "I am open to receiving more," or "every day I am getting closer to an abundant life," allow your mind and heart to align without resistance. It's a process, and you are exactly where you need to be. Everything that is repeated becomes stronger. That's how negative thoughts gain so much power, not because they were true, but because you repeated them over and over again without realizing it. But today you are doing something different. You are consciously choosing what thoughts to feed, and that alone is already beginning to change your reality. Repetition is the bridge. The more you repeat a new idea, the more familiar it becomes and the more real it begins to feel within you. Today can be the day you start talking to yourself differently. Choose an affirmation that touches just that part of you that needs it most. Maybe something that challenges a belief you've carried for years, in silence. Every time you repeat it, you are opening a clearer channel with the universe. You are telling it, "This is what I choose to create now." Prayer does not have to be something distant or solemn. In its purest essence, it is an intimate conversation with the energy that sustains everything. What if that moment of silence when you close your eyes and breathe deeply was actually the beginning of a dialogue with the universe? You are not throwing words into the void. When you pray with intention, you are activating a real connection with the creative force of life itself, a conversation that can guide you, sustain you, and transform everything from within. The universe not only listens to what you say, it also feels where you are saying it from. Are you asking with fear, with doubt, or with confidence and surrender? That's why praying with true emotion is so powerful, because when you speak from the heart, without masks or empty formulas, your energy arrives clearly, and the universe responds to that truth. Have you wondered why sometimes it seems that the universe responds and other times it doesn't? The key is not always in what you ask for, but in how you ask for it. It's not the wish list that makes the difference, but the energy with which you communicate. When you pray from trust, gratitude, and surrender, something changes and the universe feels it. When you pray from scarcity, from fear or urgency, without wanting to, you are sending the universe the message that you are missing something, and that same energy is what returns to you. But when you pray from gratitude, with the certainty that you are already being guided, everything changes. That vibration opens the channel for abundance to flow naturally, effortlessly. It is not about asking with anxiety, but about declaring with confidence, "I know that life is with me even before I see it manifested." Preparing a sacred space for prayer completely transforms the experience. It is not just an external ritual, it is a way of telling your mind and the universe that you are about to have a meaningful moment. Find a quiet corner where you can be with yourself without interruptions, maybe a lit candle, a deep breath, an intentional silence. All of this is not just decoration. its presence. It is your way of opening a portal between your inner world and the energy that sustains everything. Always start from gratitude. Before asking for something new, stop for an instant and recognize everything you already have. That simple act elevates your energy and opens your heart. Gratitude puts you in tune with the frequency of receiving. It's like tuning a radio. When you find the right station, the message comes in clear, without interference, and from there, from that high and open vibration, everything you ask for has a more direct path to manifest. Speak clearly about what you want. Be specific. Express your intention in detail, as if it were already happening. For example, instead of asking for a job, you could say, I want a job where I feel valued, creative, and well paid, surrounded by people who respect my energy. But at the same time, let go of control over the how. Maybe that job will not arrive exactly as you imagine it, but in an even better way, in a place you had not even considered. The universe always has more options than your mind can foresee, and when you leave room, the unexpected can become the perfect. How do you feel imagining that everything you have wanted is on its way, even when you can't yet see it with your eyes? Are you ready to let go of control and allow the universe to surprise you with something even greater than you had dreamed of? After expressing what you want with your heart comes one of the most powerful and most difficult acts, letting go of the result. That's where many people stumble, because they want everything to happen in a certain way, at a certain time, on their own terms. But that attachment, that need to control the how and the when, creates tension, and it blocks the natural flow of what you are asking for. Surrender is not resignation, it is deep trust. It is telling the universe, I have already asked, I have already sown, now I trust that it will arrive in the best possible way, even if I don't understand it yet. Sometimes you won't hear a direct answer, but that doesn't mean it hasn't been heard. The universe responds in its own languages, and if you are attentive, you will begin to notice it in the everyday. A conversation that gives you just the clarity you needed, an opportunity that appears when you least expect it, or even an internal change, a new sensation that drives you to take that step that you had before. Those little flashes are not a coincidence, just the way the universe says, I heard you and I'm already on my way. Prayer is not only for moments of crisis, it is a form of connection, a practice that can sustain you every day. Make it a sacred habit, not just an emergency resource. Because when you build a constant relationship with the universe, you open a channel that remains active always, and then something beautiful happens. The guidance begins to arrive even before you ask for it, as if life already knows what you need and is happy to give it to you. What would happen if you really knew that the universe listens to every word that is born from you? How would your way of asking change if you already trusted that the answer is on its way? When you pray from that certainty, something in your energy aligns. Your voice becomes clearer, your intention firmer, and your connection deeper. That's where prayer becomes a powerful tool for creation, not because of the words themselves, but because of the conviction with which you pronounce them. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine you are holding the plane ticket to that place you have always dreamed of visiting. Feel the texture of the paper, the tingling in your stomach, the excitement of knowing that you are about to experience something transformative. Listen to Mark's announcement. Imagine your smile as you look out the window as the plane takes off. What you just felt is creative visualization, a powerful technique that Louise shared with the world as one of the most direct and effective ways to communicate with the universe. This simple mental exercise is not just imagination. Every time you visualize with intention, you are creating new connections in your brain and generating an energetic movement around you. It's as if you're starting to draw the map of what you want to live, an internal map that shows the universe exactly where you want to go. This is how you begin to pave the way for manifestation. Your mind does not differentiate between what you are living and what you are imagining with clarity and emotion. When you visualize with all your senses what you see, what you hear, what you feel, your brain responds as if you were already experiencing that reality. It releases the same chemicals, activates the same areas. It prepares to live what has not yet happened, but what you are already feeling. That's why high-performance athletes train not only with their body, but also with their mind. Because when you visualize intensely, you are preparing your interior to receive what is to come. You are training your mind for success. The universe does not respond only to what you say, it responds to the energy you project. And every time you visualize with intention, you are sending a vibrant and precise signal of what you want to manifest. Think of it as if you were designing your own scenario. The clearer and more detailed that design is, the easier it is for the universe to give you what you really want. Because you are not asking at random, you are showing clearly how your desire feels fulfilled. One of the most common mistakes when visualizing is focusing on the desire, on the wanting, instead of the having. When you only see yourself longing for something, you are projecting the feeling of lack to the universe, and that is the energy that continues to manifest itself. Visualizing is not dreaming about what you lack, it is feeling that you already have it, living it internally as a present truth. And are you imagining from lack or from the fullness of someone who is already receiving it? Dedicate 5 to 10 minutes a day to visualizing with intention. Find a quiet place, close your eyes and breathe deeply. Let your inner world take shape. As you build that mental image, ask yourself, what part of you awakens when you see yourself living that reality? Where do you feel it in your body? What emotion appears first? Peace, enthusiasm, gratitude. It's not just about seeing, it's about inhabiting that moment from within, because the more alive your visualization is, the more powerful your signal to the universe is. The more senses you awaken in your visualization, the more powerful it becomes. It is not enough to imagine, you have to feel it as if it were already yours. Let the joy, gratitude, or peace run through your body. That moment when you smile without realizing it, that's where the magic begins. Because those emotions are like rocket fuel. They elevate your desire from the mind to manifestation. And if you have a hard time seeing images clearly, don't worry. Maybe the question is not, why don't I see clearly? But how does my imagination express itself naturally? You feel more than you see. An inner certainty without a defined form comes to you. Each person visualizes in a different way, and they are all valid. The important thing is not what you see, it's what you manage to feel. Not all of us visualize in the same way. Some people do not see clear images, but they feel. Others simply know it as an inner truth that needs no explanation, and that's okay. There is no correct way to imagine. Maybe your mind draws, or maybe your body reacts, or simply an emotion that envelops everything arises. Trust your natural way of connecting with the invisible. That way is perfect for you, and is just as powerful. Complement your mental practice with something tangible. Create a vision board. Choose images, words, and symbols that represent what you want to manifest. It is not only about aesthetics, but about energy. Every element you place is a visual affirmation of what you are creating. Place it in a place where you see it daily. That physical reminder keeps your focus active, even at times when you are not consciously visualizing. It is like an open window to your new reality, always present, always calling you to remember it. The most powerful moments to visualize do not require great presence. Just upon waking up and before going to sleep, your mind enters a natural state of calm and receptivity, similar to meditation or hypnosis. There, between the conscious and the unconscious, is where your messages go deepest. 5 minutes in those moments can have more impact than an hour of practice when you are tense, distracted, or in a hurry, because it is not the amount of time, it is the quality of the connection. What really makes the difference is not how long you visualize, but how consistent you are. 5 minutes a day, well focused, can transform your energy much more than a long, inconsistent session. It's like taking care of a plant. A little water every day keeps it alive, rooted, growing. But if you forget to water it, and then try to make up for it all at once, you overload it and it loses strength. This is also how your creative mind works. Consistency nourishes. Loving repetition makes it flourish. And what if for a week you gave yourself permission to visualize without limits, without judgment, with total emotional surrender? And if every image you hold in your mind were a real seed, ready to bloom, how would your energy transform if every day you chose to imagine your life as if what you so longed for were already happening? Sometimes all it takes is to take your creative power seriously. There is something deeply transformative about writing down what you carry in your soul. When you take the pen and let your thoughts go down on paper, you stop imagining and start creating. Writing to the universe is not just a symbolic gesture, it is clearly stating what you want, as if you were signing a sacred agreement with life itself, an energetic contract between what you dream and what you are willing to receive. Every written word is an affirmation. Every sentence is a door that opens. Writing has a power that goes beyond thinking. Putting your ideas on paper gives them shape, gives them weight, makes them real. Hasn't it happened to you that something that seemed confusing in your mind begins to be organized as soon as you write it down? It's as if by seeing it in front of you, you can understand it from another place. The same thing happens with your desires. When you write them, you discover what you really long for beyond the superficial, and that gives direction to your energy. The same thing happens with your desires. By writing them, you begin to see with clarity what your soul truly longs for, beyond the immediate, beyond the superficial. A letter to the universe is not just a symbolic exercise, it is one of the most powerful forms of written communication with the invisible forces that move your life. An act of pure intention where every word becomes a seed thrown into the field of possibilities. Find a moment just for yourself, where the world can pause for a few minutes. Take a deep breath and return to the center of your being. Then let the words flow. Write as if you were talking to an old friend who knows you, who listens to you without judgment, and who has the power to help you create exactly the life you dream of. Let that letter be honest, intimate, real, because in that space between you and the universe, there is no need to pretend, only to feel and express. Start your letter from the heart, and begin with gratitude. Acknowledge what you already have, the small joys, the achievements you sometimes forget to celebrate, the moments of calm, of love, of learning. That energy of appreciation not only elevates your vibration, it also opens the channel for more to arrive. Because when you are truly grateful, you are telling the universe, I value, I trust, I am ready to receive, and there is no clearer message than that. When you write your desires, be clear, but don't cling to the exact details. It's not just about asking for specific numbers, names, or scenarios. It's about transmitting the essence of what you want to live. Instead of writing down a sum of money, describe what it would feel like to live with freedom, without worries, with space to enjoy and create. And instead of asking for a particular person to love you, focus on the qualities of the relationship you dream of. Respect, deep connection, mutual growth, peace. This way you leave the universe the space to surprise you. And many times what comes is beyond anything you had imagined. Write in the present tense as if what you want is already part of your life. Phrases like I am deeply grateful for the health and vitality that accompany me today have a very different force than I hope to be healthy someday. When you speak in the present, you are telling the universe, this is already real for me. And from that certainty, everything begins to align. The energy of the now is powerful. It is there that manifestation happens. Don't just write from the mind, write from the heart. Let your emotions pour out onto the paper. Feel while you write the joy of having what you have so desired. Feel the relief, the peace, the emotion of knowing that it is already yours, that it is already part of your life. That vibration is what really moves the energy, because the universe does not respond only to the words you use, but to what you transmit with them. This feeling is what creates the bridge between the invisible and the real. The most important thing is that you write with full confidence, as if you know you are being heard. After sending your letter to the universe, act as if it has already been received and is on its way to you. That inner certainty is what opens the way for everything to begin to align, and many times what comes exceeds even what you had imagined. Have you recently given yourself the space to connect with what you truly long for? And what if writing was the first step to tidying up inside, what you are ready to receive outside? Communicating with the universe is not just a matter of asking, it is also a matter of opening space to receive. You cannot fill something that is already full and that applies on all levels, physical, mental, emotional, and energetic. There are things in your life that no longer resonate with you, but that you continue to hold on to out of habit. Are you making room for the new, or are you still clinging to what has already completed its cycle? The universe needs space to enter, and you create that space with intention. Start with what you can see and touch, your physical environment. Look around you. You are surrounded by objects that you no longer use, that you no longer love, that only take up space. Everything you keep carries an energetic charge. And when you keep things from the past in your life that no longer serve you, you are sending the universe a silent message. I am not ready for the new. Clearing your space is much more than tidying up. It is an act of openness, a clear invitation to change. You can start simply, without pressure. You eliminate only one object a day, but you do it with intention. Something that no longer brings you joy, that no longer fulfills a real purpose in your life. Donate those clothes that have been stored for years. Give away those books that you know you will never open again. Empty those drawers full of just-in-case things that only stagnate the energy. Every object you release is a signal, a clear message to the universe that says, I am ready for something new, and that silent declaration has more power than you can imagine. Then direct your attention inward to the mental space. What thoughts inhabit your day-to-day? Are you still carrying old beliefs that no longer represent you? Phrases like that is not for me, or I could never afford something like that. They may seem harmless, but they act as invisible walls. They block energy, close doors, limit possibilities. Just like a cluttered house prevents the passage of new things, your mind also needs cleaning, because if you don't change the internal narrative, the universe will continue to respond to that old version of you. Every time a limiting belief appears, don't accept it as an absolute truth. Face it, question it. Where does this idea come from? Does it really belong to me, or did I just learn it, and have I repeated it without realizing it? By observing your thoughts with awareness, you can begin to let them go, and by letting them go, you create space for new, more expansive thoughts, more aligned with what you want to build. Your mind can be your greatest limit or your greatest ally. You decide what story you continue to write, and perhaps the most transformative thing of all is to create emotional space, the one that is sometimes full of old wounds, stored resentments, unspoken words. Forgiveness is not always easy, but it is liberating, and it's not about justifying what happened or doing it for the other person. It's about you, about your peace, about your inner freedom. Because while you carry that weight, there is no room for the new. But when you let go, something opens. And in that clean space, love, abundance, clarity, and new opportunities that could not approach before can enter. Sometimes, without realizing it, we send mixed messages to the universe. We ask for prosperity, but deep down we feel that we do not deserve it. We long for a loving relationship, while something inside us whispers that we are not enough. That internal contradiction creates a kind of energetic interference, as if we were speaking in two languages at the same time, and the universe didn't know which one to respond to. The law of deserving is simple. You can only receive what you truly believe is possible for you. It is not a punishment. It is not a judgment. It is just the way energy moves. It responds to your deepest belief, not your highest desire. Another way to recognize if there is a deserving block is to observe the patterns that repeat in your life. Those stories that seem to return again and again, even if the scenarios change. Do you tend to attract relationships where you don't feel valued? Jobs that don't recognize your true potential? People who take a lot and give little? That's not a coincidence. It is a sign that somewhere inside you there is a belief that needs to be updated, an old deserving plan that no longer aligns with the version of you that is waking up. Many of our beliefs about not deserving were planted very early in childhood. Maybe when we interpreted silence,